Hey, I'm Jesse. Every week I run small experiments with context-driven development, AI, and a tool I built called I'm Done. It keeps your backlog right in your source code so you never lose context. Let's see what happens this week. Last week we were using Copilot, and I think I mentioned that this week we're going to start using Claude Code. And so I've chosen a very simple feature to implement. I think it's simple. We're going to implement allowing a user, a developer, to select a project that they want to add JIRA items to when they run I'm Done add. So remember, I'm Done syncs issues with markdown files, bidirectional sync. And right now I'm in issue Scrum 138. And I added this task in the template that I was using last week that has all of the relevant files. I did a little bit of digging. I know we need bin.mjs because that's where everything starts off. Add issue is the use case in the JIRA adapter. And we're going to update. We're giving it the goal when a user runs I'm Done add, they can choose which project to add the new issue to. The constraints are prompt for project key on I'm Done add, allow project key option on I'm Done add, and I think we also want to say use TDD. Make sure we have tests. And before I get started, I'm going to run I'm Done push and make sure that gets synced up. So there it is. It got pushed up. Let's make sure that's all pushed up. Yep, everything's there. All right, great. So now when I come back, I can pull this down and get started if I'm on a different machine. Okay. So let's start Claude. Tell Claude to go ahead. And I don't know if I have the Claude extension installed. I'm going to ask if it knows what file is open in VS Code. Let's see. Well, it doesn't have a link to the file that's open. But that's okay. We'll just tell it to look at that file. Okay. So let's have Claude complete the task on line 26 in at what folder am I in? Backlog? No, we'll go // Huh, what folder are we in here? Looks like we're in the CLI package. Okay, then let's go back. Let's just exit out of Claude Code here. This is going to be a learning experience for both of us. Okay, we're going to go back a folder and run Claude again. Okay, and now let me ask it to update the task on line 26 in at backlog. Huh. I guess it doesn't recognize backlog because it's in a different Maybe because it's in a different Git repo, that could be the case. We could try at /backlog. All right, well, let's try that /backlog / current sprint. Okay, let's start fresh here. We'll close this, open it back up again. Ask Claude what file we're looking at. Is open in VS Code. Can you install the Claude Code extension? Ask it if it can install the Claude Code extension, because I was using this at work just today and it knew exactly which file I had open. So this is a little bit frustrating for me, but we'll see. If you're looking for Claude integration with VS Code itself, Anthropic doesn't currently have an official VS Code extension called Claude Code. However, there are a few ways to do this. Continue using me. Use the C-Line extension, a popular third-party VS Code extension, integrates with Claude into the editor. Use Claude.ai in your browser. So let's see if the C-Line extension. So let's restart this one, Claude Code for VS Code. And see if there's a C-Line extension. Now, I don't like that. Let's see. Okay. I'm going to copy the full path. That's one way to do it. Okay. Complete the task on line 26 in that path. Let's see what happens. Hey, it found the file. Excellent. It's flummoxing. That's not a good sign. I wish I had better words. The meandering and the flummoxing are kind of disheartening. All right, so it's going through the files that I had it look at. So this structure seems to be working okay. Looking for specs. Found the tests folder. That's great. Okay. Well, I also forgot to update the version in the package.json. So we got to remember to do that as well, because this is going to be a new version. So while this is doing its thing, I could go over to another terminal window and do that. Why don't we do that? Okay, we're going to go to a new terminal window and then go to CLI package. And we'll do an npm version, not patch, we're going to do minor. Now we're at 0.27.0, perfect. Okay, let's go back to Claude. Okay, so it looks like it's going to add some tests. Project key selection, inquirer prompts. Well, I'm going to accept everything. We'll see what happens. Let's allow all the edits, and then we could look at the diff. So I started with a fresh branch. We could always nudge it a little bit later. Now it's adding the project key option to the CLI command. I guess it's doing a little bit of linting. I mean, we could take a look and see what's happening here. let's look at the JIRA plugin and see what's going on. So we got the spec. Looks like it's figured out the generate replay command, so that's great. Okay, projects, multi-project issue, project key, add issue, get project key options. I don't see it get project key options. Maybe in the JIRA adapter. There's create task. JIRA adapter.project keys. That's perfect. That's where it should be getting it from. Okay. It wants to run tests for add issue functionality. Yes, and don't ask. Keep going. Okay, looks like there was an error. Looks like it needs to fix the test setup. Great. Running the tests again. Okay, another error. Sometimes I don't know what to do while Claude is thinking and making changes. I mean, when you're working by yourself, there's not really anyone to talk to. Looks like there's some more updates happening. Okay. It's updating things. Looks like this is the replay command test. Okay, that one. Just moved the mock resolve down. Not sure why. Probably because project will come first. I'm going to get a little bit of something to drink here while we're waiting. Okay. Tests are running again. Let's start off at the beginning and see what happened. So while it's going about its business, implementing our work here. So now we do have the project key option. That's great. And we'd expect it to be passed in. All the options are passed into add issue. So add issue should have a new option. Options. Options.project key. Okay, there's the selected project key. And there's the project key options. And if there isn't a selected project key, then it's going to prompt. Okay, that's great. I don't like these nested if statements. This add issue command is not the cleanest and should probably be cleaned up a bit. So once we have this working, I think maybe a little refactor might be in order. So the create task now has a project key. Let's take a look at the JIRA adapter. Create task, project key. Oh, great. So it's taking the project key or the first project key that is configured. Yeah, and if you've noticed before, if you're using I'm done CLI, you'll notice in the .I'm done config.yaml, project keys is a list of objects with a key, project keys.key. So right now we just have Scrum as the project key. Still running tests. So far it looks like everything is panning out the way it should, but I don't see tests completing, and it's been 9 minutes. I think we might need to interrupt and run these tests. So since I can't bounce it off of you, and because I'm recording, I'm going to interrupt, and I'm going to go to my other window here, and I'm going to run tests. So npm test, let's see what happens. We've got some failed tests. All right. So the add issue spec has 2 failing tests. Let's go back to Claude and let Claude know about that. The add issue okay, let's just pass this value in. Has 2 failing tests. Let us see what Claude figures out. Look at that. Okay, now it's running tests again. Scampering. Not sure where it's scampering to. I wish it would stay next to me here. All 14 tests are passing. Okay, this is great. All right. So now that that code has completed, I'm going to run the tests here again. Make sure they run. Then I'm going to run a build. Then I'm going to link I'm done. I'm going to run npm link, which will cause my build, the latest build, to be what's running for I'm done. When I run I'm done. Okay, looks like it finished. Now let's link it. It's I'm done CLI.27. Okay, let's take a look at I'm done add. Okay, it will take a project key. Now this, right now, I've got Scrum listed on here. let's see if I have any other projects. I do. I have the demo project. Okay, what's the key for demo? Demo. Okay, let's add the demo project as the second key. Demo. And we will run I'm done add. Okay, it does say it's version 0.27. That's great. So let's run I'm done add. Let's use the experiment template. Hey, look at that. It picked up both of the projects. We'll choose demo. What's the type? Let's choose story. Let's create, the issue should be created in the backlog. We don't have a current sprint. So the issue summary is, this is a test of the new I'm done add option. And it gave us, next time use this command, project key demo, template, experiment, issue type, story, location, backlog, summary, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so let's see. It looks like it created it. It did, with the template and everything. That is great. So let's do I'm done ls and see if that's now listed. Look at that. It didn't pull it down. I wonder why. Okay, let's do a I'm done pull. It could be sprints in open sprints and status is not done. Okay, so there must be an open sprint. It's a new test of the I'm done add option. Okay, so it didn't find this sprint. That's interesting. But it is there. So we know that's working. If I pull this up into the sprint and run I'm done pull, okay, so it's now in our folder in the current sprint. This is a test of the I'm done add option. Look at that. Okay. So that did work. Let's try running I'm done add again. And this time I'm going to choose the other project and see if it asks me where I want to put it besides the backlog. Okay, so it's only allowing backlog. Really, it should be allowing me to choose the current sprint as well. So I'm going to exit out of here because I don't want it to create that command or that, don't want it to create that item. But I think we need to go look at the add issue and see what the story is in there. So we have project key options. Let's see if we can find this. So get sprint options. Get active sprints. So get active sprints is what should be pulling the active sprints. And I know I did update this a while back. To include Scrum and Simple, but I wonder if it's coming back as something else in the boards. So we called get boards. What I'm going to do is I'm going to console.log boards for these project keys. See what get boards. So it's just joining the project keys with a comma. I don't think that's going to work. So I think what we want to do is pass in the correct project key. And when getActiveSprints is called, there needs to be a project key option. Okay, so getting the sprint options. Okay, so first we select a project key further up here. Selected project key, await select. So selected project key is already set at that point. So we want to pass that in. Okay. So let's do what we've been doing and go back to Claude. I'm just going to say getActiveSprints. Should take a project key argument. Oh no, credit balance too low. All right, that's going to take too long and I'll have to go through the whole process. So we're getting close to a half an hour here. And I may take the approach of finishing this off on my own, or yeah, I don't want to switch tooling here. I don't want to switch tooling. So let's wrap it up. I'll fill you in next time on how I complete this, whether I do it by hand or I continue with Claude Code. But what I've seen so far is it did a fairly good job of implementing this feature. It left out one important thing, which is the code wasn't set up correctly in the first place because getActiveSprints was joining the project keys when it shouldn't have. This getBoards function should take a project key, and I think that's the problem. So I'll probably wrap up with that, but I'm gonna continue with Claude Code. I think this is a really good approach. The only downside is I now have to pay for this, but I do see a lot of benefit in using this structure. It seems to really understand what's happening here with what the constraints are, what files it should be putting into context. And I like it because I can get back to this and I can update it as I go along. So, you know, I may try this again once I put some money in into the slot machine here called Claude Code. And add another constraint, and I'll let you know how it turns out. Thanks a lot for playing along. I'll see you next week.